Blake Lively is spiraling after a judge just blew the lid off her scheme to sabotage content creators and manipulate key evidence. From faking delays to demanding 50,000 hours of footage she already edited, her entire plan is crumbling. Worse, she teamed up with the very co-conspirator she once accused, Stephanie Jones, to stall discovery. It's like Blake thinks she's starring in her own legal drama, but this time, the script is a mess and she's scribbling it in crayon. Her July 17th deposition at 125 Park Avenue is fast approaching, and she's doing everything short of vanishing to avoid it. Her strategy is painfully clear: delay, deflect, and demand. Testify? Please. Blake would rather choke on a gluten-free bagel than face real questions under oath. Her most laughable legal move? Telling the court she needs to review 50,000 hours of footage before she can proceed. That's over 5.5 years of non-stop viewing. But in reality, there's only about 150 hours of footage total. It's like she threw random numbers into a blender and hit spin. This is what happens when actors get so used to controlling scripts, they think they can rewrite the courtroom too. But guess what, Blake? This isn't your director's cut, it's a deposition, and here's the kicker: Blake knew about the August 14th deadline since day one. She waited 3 whole months after requesting footage on February 20th to even act like it mattered. That's not negligence. That's a calculated delay, a masterclass in bad faith. The court isn't fooled. Judges literally quoted Second Circuit law to shut her down, basically saying, "No, Blake, you don't get to binge edit reality and rewrite your victim arc like fanfiction." Because that's what she's trying to do, paint herself as the delicate flower in a garden of thorns, and let's not forget, she already edited this footage back when she hijacked It Ends With Us. But now, she needs to see it again? What is this? Emotional color correction? Then, just to add to the madness, Blake pulls a daytime TV-worthy stunt and partners up with Stephanie Jones, the same woman she accused of plotting against her. Yes, seriously. You can't make this up. But Blake Lively? She just might be trying to. After throwing Stephanie Jones and her PR firm, Jones Works, straight under the bus, Blake Lively pulled a soap opera twist, waltzing into court arm in arm with Stephanie like it's Sunday brunch. And nothing ever happened. The duo even requested their depositions be delayed, together. But the Wayfarer party wasn't having it. They fired off a brutal letter to Judge Lyman basically yelling, "Your Honor, are we watching Legally Blonde or a legal proceeding?" And honestly, they had a point, because here's the reality: Blake never confirmed a single deposition date, never claimed she was unavailable, and even canceled Melissa Nathan's deposition herself. Yet somehow, she still had the audacity to blame the other side for stalling. That's like torching your own house and then dialing 911 just to yell at the fire department for not showing up sooner. As for Stephanie? Same circus, different clown. She got legally served and still didn't bother to offer alternate dates for testimony. It's like watching 2 toddlers cover their ears and yell, "La la la la," while everyone else tries to handle grown-up business. And the judge? He didn't even need to reach for a highlighter, he shredded their motion on the spot. Why? Because it showed absolutely zero effort. Not a single ounce of due diligence. And under federal civil procedure? That's Law School 101. These two couldn't even pass the entrance quiz, but it gets even more ridiculous. Blake now insists she must comb through every single second of video footage like she's decoding CIA surveillance. And here's the punchline: she's not even in most of it. Why is she scanning background extras like she's hunting for ghosts? Is she hoping to catch a blurry shadow and call it emotional distress? Let's be clear, this isn't about uncovering abuse. It's about spinning pixels into a pity party. She's trying to yank a blurry elbow out of frame and call it assault. This footage? It's not even tied to her harassment claim. It's part of a separate defamation defense. Everyone in the courtroom knows it, except maybe Blake, who seems to think she's starring in her own psychological thriller, because here's the brutal truth: her trauma narrative is built on air. No texts. No emails. No calls. No witnesses. No, today was rough, messages in any group chat. Nothing. Yet she wants to dig through film archives hoping to squeeze out something, anything, she can twist into a soap story, and let's not forget the last time she tried this. Remember the infamous kissing scene? Blake claimed something shady happened, until audio surfaced showing it was completely normal. She didn't even know that audio existed, and when it dropped, it shattered her story like glass. That's why she's panicking now, scrambling to make sure there's no more surprise footage that can obliterate her next fantasy, because that's what it is, a fantasy. One the court isn't buying. And with every desperate stunt, Blake isn't building a case, she's just proving she's fighting for relevance, not justice. Exactly, this isn't about truth. It's about control. Blake Lively isn't trying to clarify the record, she's trying to rewrite it. She's not interested in answering for her contradictions, she wants to re-edit them like deleted scenes. And now that the court is finally catching on, she's spiraling faster than a crisis PR intern on no sleep and 4 espresso shots. Let's break it down. She's delaying her deposition using footage she already edited. She's teaming up with a woman she accused of conspiring against her. She's claiming harassment in scenes she was never even in, and she's manufacturing trauma without a single shred of supporting evidence. Meanwhile, the court's basically tapping the mic saying, "Hi Blake, it's been since February. The deadline is August 14th. Either show up or shut up." And her legal team? They're not litigating, they're improvising. The subpoenas they submitted were so bonkers, it looked like someone asked ChatGPT to generate a conspiracy theory. They demanded search terms like anonymous buried crisis management digital expert and yes, Hawaii. What was the goal here? Expose a secret Justin Baldoni surf trip? Uncover evidence of trauma buried under a pineapple tree? This wasn't a legal strategy. It was a full-blown emotional meltdown, exported as a PDF, but the madness didn't stop there. Blake's crosshairs landed on influencers. Not legal opponents. Not key witnesses. Just people who said mean things about her on the internet. She targeted Candace Owens, Perez Hilton, Megyn Kelly, Andy Signore, and a buffet of random content creators. That's right, she's trying to subpoena her way into a better comment section. That's like suing Yelp reviewers because your overpriced kale salad came wilted. None of these people are involved in the case. Their only crime? Having an opinion. And in Blake's world, that's apparently actionable. And her keyword list? It reads like the rejected track list from a failed concept album. A destroy obscura bots execution doc. She might dream team HR complaint. What were they hoping to find? Some deleted group chat called Operation Cancel Me Softly? A digital coup d'etat by YouTubers and AI bots, and just when you think it can't get more unhinged, enter Scooter Braun. Yes, Blake's team actually included Scooter Braun in their legal search terms. Are we still in court, or did this case just drift into a Taylor Swift fanfic crossover event? Welcome to the Blake Lively cinematic universe, where logic goes to die and subpoenas are written like celebrity gossip bingo cards, and just when you thought it couldn't possibly get more petty, Blake Lively's team decided to subpoena 2 non-party PR employees from Melissa Nathan's firm, just regular staffers doing their jobs. But instead of a basic email request, Blake's lawyers demanded on-site data extraction over the July 4th weekend. While the rest of the country was lighting fireworks and grilling burgers, these poor PR employees were handing over their phones, because Blake couldn't handle a meme. If your legal strategy involves ruining someone's holiday because they worked at the wrong agency, you're not the victim, you're the villain. Now let's talk about Perez Hilton. The man is thriving, sipping tea while living, in his own words, rent-free inside Blake's head. He was mentioned twice in official court filings. Blake's legal team is combing through his inbox looking for words like confusing and strategy doc, like they're going to find the missing link to her dignity. Perez publicly laughed off the whole thing. That's how unserious her legal campaign has become. Even the targets are cracking jokes, but it doesn't stop there. Blake has turned the courtroom into her personal press junket, minus the journalists. And conveniently, she never subpoenaed mainstream media outlets like TMZ or People. Why? Because she didn't want anyone poking around those cozy backdoor relationships. Instead, she went after the small fish, influencers, YouTubers, the critics. She thought she could bully into silence, and here's the shady part, TMZ somehow got the subpoena info before the creators did. People like Candace Owens and Perez Hilton found out they'd been subpoenaed not from a process server, but from a TMZ article. That doesn't just raise eyebrows, it sets off sirens. It means someone leaked the subpoenas deliberately to spin the headlines, and the only outlet that dared to challenge the narrative? The Daily Mail. Reporter James Vushka had been investigating the media manipulation until he was suddenly pressured to sign a false sworn statement, and then fired just weeks later. That's not coincidence. That's a textbook PR hit job. Let's be clear, these subpoenas weren't about justice. They were intimidation letters wearing legal lipstick. Blake's goal was never discovery, it was damage control. She wanted to silence the very voices she once used to build her empire. The influencers who boosted Betty Buzz. The YouTubers who hyped aviation gin. The creators who helped sell It Ends With Us. She built her brand with influencer bricks, and now she's throwing rocks at the foundation, but enough about her legal hissy fits, let's talk about the toxic wake she leaves behind every time she steps on set. A former actress from the rhythm section just came forward with horror stories, Blake showing up late, refusing eye contact, not rehearsing scenes, creating such a hostile environment, cast members literally hid in hallways just to avoid her. Imagine being so unbearable that your co-stars would rather hang out with a vending machine than be in your presence, and looming behind all this chaos? Ryan Reynolds. Mr. Maximum Effort himself. The man who sips aviation gin while orchestrating his wife's downfall like it's a Super Bowl ad campaign. He once said in a Variety interview, "If I bomb, I want to be the architect of my own demise." Well, mission accomplished. Because this isn't just a bomb, it's a full-scale demolition project. And while Blake's getting dragged through the headlines, Ryan's sitting in the director's chair pretending he just wandered onto set. Let's not forget, Ryan was the puppet master behind the It Ends With Us marketing machine.